I'm Marie of Historical Belle, and today I'm sharing a video about how I made a Late Victorian style apron that one of my lovely co-workers commissioned from me. I used Butterick's Making History Pattern 5509 Option C and a very pretty purple checked fabrics from Joann's. I've used this pattern before to make some of the other apron options, so I still needed to cut out some of the other pieces that were needed especially for option C. It's summer down south, which means it's hot, and that requires that the fan be on full blast, which is great if you're trying to keep cool, but it is not great for cutting out pattern pieces. Therefore, I used my shoe as a pattern weight, and it held down the pattern I was cutting out pretty well. I then pinned down the pattern pieces that I had just cut out to the lavender fabric, and then I cut them out. After that, I pinned those pattern pieces to some iron-on interfacing, and I cut them out. Interfacing is a fabric that is added between fabric layers to help support it. In this case, as in most, it will be going between the fashion fabric and the lining to help stiffen it. For this project, I'm using the same fabric for the outer fabric and the lining because I had enough of it and it's prettier and you're going to see both of these sides, and therefore I wanted it to be able to not have just like a stark contrast. I wanted it to remain the same because I thought that would look prettier. I then ironed on the iron-on interfacing to the two bodice pieces of the apron. Some people say this is not how you're supposed to iron on interfacing, that you're supposed to cut the interfacing so it's smaller than your actual fabric, and then when you sew it, you don't sew over the interfacing. So basically you interface what's not in your seam allowance. I don't find this to be necessary. I find it to be more trouble than it's worth, and I don't have a problem. I think that way you're stiffened all the way to the edges, and it works well for me. So that's how I do it. Like I said earlier, I'm using the same fabric, or the outer fabric, the fashion fabric, and the lining. So here I'm pinning those together after I have ironed on the interfacing. I sewed these pieces together with the right sides together. Straight lines are definitely the easiest to sew, but this pattern has a good amount of round corners, which I took my time going around very slowly, turning the fabric to ease the stitches into the right formation. In case you are concerned, everything I do here is usually sped up because otherwise it will actually take you 5 days to watch me make a dress. So we don't actually see every single thing I do, and most of the things I do, I speed up a little bit. I don't actually move this fast. I do move very fast. Some people say I'm like a little Energizer bunny, but it's not actually. This is movie magic. I don't actually move this fast. And then sewing machine doesn't go this fast, just in case anyone was concerned. I then turned the pieces right side out. I decided to draft my own pattern for the bottom of the apron. I cut 3 sections of the bottom of the apron, 1 middle section, and then 2 on the sides that angle in near the top. I pinned the 3 sections together and then sewed them together. I did a loose stitch across the top of each panel, and then I gently pulled these threads to gather the fabric of the apron into the waistband, which I will be doing later. I cut out the waistband with the supervision of Lucky. She's even supervising me now as I do this voiceover. I then cut out the long straps that will tie around the waist and attach to the waistband. I pressed the seam of the waistband flat, and then I ironed the 2 sides of the waistband halfway up as well as the 2 ends of the waistband. And this will create a nice edge that I will be sewing. I then ironed the long straps. I folded the edges to the center and then I ironed them down. I then folded it in half again and ironed it down again, pinning it as I went. After that, I top stitched the straps together. I like doing it this way better than sewing it in a tube with right sides together, because trying to turn those long, slender straps inside out is the most annoying thing. Therefore, this way, top stitching. Once you're done stitching it, it's done. It's fantastic. Highly recommend. Here I am hemming the sides of the apron. Now I'm attaching the waistband to the apron. I'm putting the skirt part of the apron that I gathered into the center of the waistband, and then I folded the top over it again, pinning it. I then stick the straps into the sides of the waistband and pin them down. I top stitched the waistband to the skirt of the apron. The way I pinned it and wanted to stitch it meant that I was going to have to stick the part of the skirt through the wrong side of my sewing machine. And y'all, don't do this. It's not the way you're supposed to do it. It's not fun. I was just tired and I didn't want to redo this, and I trust myself and my abilities enough to know that I wasn't going to screw it up, but I would not recommend it. It's more nerve-wracking. It is worse. I was just tired and didn't want to repin things. It was then time to make buttonholes, which I did with my sewing machine. For the finishing touches on this apron, I trimmed it with this beautiful lace trim that I also got from Joann's. I trimmed the two bodice pieces with it along the edges. I top stitched this trim on with a zipper foot. I then hand stitched on these beautiful metal buttons.